Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. So continuing our theme, entrepreneurship, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Josh Elledge, who joins us here as a first-time guest on the program. Josh is the host of a daily podcast, The Thoughtful Entrepreneur, where he covers a wide range of topics relating to the entrepreneur's journey, something we speak about very regularly over here. So Josh Elledge, a founder and CEO, I always start with the question of, when did you get the entrepreneurial bug?
I think I was born with it, but it's really interesting. So my dad is a business owner. My grandma is a business owner, owns a health food store. Her father owned kind of like a five and dime. And my great granddaddy, listen to this name, Amos Elledge. That's an old timey name. And he was a proprietor and he sold blocks of ice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well,
it's in my blood.
You go. So you've had it. It's in your genes for sure. It is. I am fascinated by your background. It's called savingsangel.com, which, as I understand it, came as a sort of in partnership with your PR experience as a U.S. Navy journalist, where you became an influencer in your field. So let's talk about your story. Let's talk about sort of how you ended up doing the things you're doing, because you are an inspiration, my friend.
Oh, well, thanks. Geez, I don't know about that. So Savings Angel was actually my seventh business venture. And the previous six some had failed spectacularly, but because I really did not want to go back working corporate America, I was always just trying to find what should I be doing? What can I be doing to have a great impact in the world? So Savings Angel really was out of necessity. I needed to save my family money because my income was kind of unstable. And so Savings Angel was a tool that allowed us to cut our grocery bill in half. And in fact, I was feeding a family of five for just over $200 a month because of the Savings Angel platform, which would kind of match store sales and coupons, and you could go and get free groceries every single week. And so for years and years and years, we ran it as a membership website, and we just charge $20 a month, and folks would be able to save $200 to $300 consistently month after month. So yeah, that company ended up doing, we've done well over $6 million in revenue. The couponing craze kind of died down. And so as a result, that's like market forces come and go. And, nobody here is smarter than the market. And so I would have preferred that company kept on going and growing, but the market will let you know what they want. And so thankfully, I had been spending my time serving pro bono in our local startup community, serving veteran-owned, minority-owned, women-owned businesses, doing pro bono work, serving on boards, doing workshops, consulting, all pro bono, because I just believe that that's what you're supposed to do if you've gotten success in business, or even if you want success in business, just give away your time. And that actually led to people saying, well, wait a minute, you're actually pretty good at this. I've been in the media over 2,000 times. So yeah, I've kind of learned the ropes. And in fact, that's all we did for Savings Angel is I don't think I spent more than $100 for advertising, because it really just didn't work very well for us. All I did was just go on TV, write a newspaper column, do lots of radio. And lo and behold, people appreciated when you're just authentic and you're generous with them.
Absolutely. And I'm chatting with Josh Elledge, who, as we've been talking about the entrepreneurial story, Savings Angel was one of many businesses that you got started. So Josh, very quickly before we head to a break, and we will continue our conversation with you, what is the one bit of advice that you would have for an aspiring entrepreneur that is looking to make sure that they are running their business profitably, successfully, and efficiently?
Yeah, one of the most important things you could be doing is just becoming a student of those who have already made the mistakes. I've made thousands of mistakes. And so the more time you can spend learning from others, and I'm not talking about gurus that are popping up overnight and just want to sell you their $2,000 thing or whatever. Like, try to find people that you can tell are insanely generous with their time, and they don't put a lot of work and effort into selling you. Like, you can totally tell who is on either side of that equation. Go find the givers, the ones that have the street cred, and go learn from them. Because generally they'll be very, very authentic and honest with you about what works and what does not work.
Words of wisdom. Josh Elledge, I'm going to squeeze in a quick break and bring you back in where we are going to talk about more about you, your passion for family, physical fitness, and sort of your life's journey as well. But a shout out to our amazing friends of the program, friends of Get Down to Business. I encourage everybody to check out ChicagoSignatureLimo.com. A good friend, Irina Freeman, for all of your transportation needs in the Chicagoland area, as well as actually in the Orlando area, right in your neck of the woods, Woo-hoo. Josh. That's right. As well as Tom Urabali from healthplanchicago.com for all of your health insurance needs. They are experts in the Affordable Care Act. And I encourage everybody, again, check out healthplanchicago.com. We are going to squeeze in a quick break. We'll return on the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship in just a moment. Welcome back to Get Down to Business. I'm continuing my conversation with Josh Elledge, who is a serial entrepreneur who has spent time as a U.S. Navy journalist and has become an influencer in, frankly, many, many fields. And Josh has an incredible reach, an incredible following, almost 80,000 Twitter followers, many tens of thousands on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all over the place, and is a syndicated columnist as well as weekly TV consumer expert in Orlando. So Josh, behind every entrepreneur, there is a supportive family. So tell us a little bit about your home life and some of your hobbies.
Well, my wife's a good woman because, when I referenced our 6 business failures before we started our 2 current 7-figure companies, they were not making money. I mean, maybe we'd make some money one month and not the other. And so she's a good woman to have that much patience and go through that, because it wasn't hard. And, when you go through the experience of failing in business, and I feel like it's a rite of passage, it's really good that you use that failure to aim your heart in the right direction. But it's very humbling when, if you're a husband and dad and you lose your home to foreclosure or bankruptcy, you have to go live with your in-laws. It kind of sucks, to put it lightly. But so I'm very, very grateful. And there are stages of life, right? Just like Jim Rohn talks, there are seasons of life. There are just seasons where you just have to get out and, it's winter. And you got to keep doing the thing anyway. And you're trying things, you're exploring, you're learning, you're trying to figure it out. And then eventually, guess what? After every winter is a spring. And so just know that if you're going through a winter right now in your business, been there, done that, and I feel for you. I promise that if you will, however, wake up in the morning and ask yourself, who do I get to serve today? If you work with a servant's heart, the money will come. If your main concern is money, people are going to sense it, and it's going to be much more difficult, in my experience.
Absolutely. And I share that advice with folks in transition all the time regarding focus. And we've been talking a little bit about that earlier in the program. But Josh, my takeaway from everything that you've shared is balance. You work hard and you play hard, which I think is super important. And you have to have that level of moderation. And I understand that you are a fitness junkie. I don't know if that's the right word, but you are a marathon runner. I can relate. I can appreciate that because I've been through many of those experiences as well. So tell us a little bit about how you separate from those from all those influencers and all that influencing that you do.
What through running?
Running, yeah.
So sad to say, Scott, and I hope this never happens to you. I've been sacked with plantar fasciitis now for about a year and a half. And so it's really curtailed my ability to hit the road. And I can't tell you how sad it makes me when I'm driving down the road. I see a runner. I'm like, man, I wish I was out there. But I've done Disney a couple of times, a marathon there. That's a fun one. You're generally not going to PR on that one. But it's really fun because they do a good job of keeping you distracted from the pain that your body's feeling.
I'm bringing up a sore subject. I'm bringing up a sore subject around running, and I feel bad about it.
Yeah. So right now, like and especially with the new year, just really kind of keying in on, really great eating right now while I'm sidelined from running. Now I love resistance training, that's my therapy. And if I don't get that, like my brain just goes. Zzz. So at the very least, my doggy Levi takes me for 3 walks a day.
Well, that helps. So, Josh, I want to talk about your level of influence. Again, I'm chatting with Josh Elledge, somewhat of an expert on being an expert. And I want to pick your brain on that topic of how you have become that level of influencer, and what advice would you have for fellow entrepreneurs?
Well, I don't know about that, Jill. I appreciate that introduction. The reality is there's only so much that you can learn. I advocated for surrounding yourself with expert and people that have that true street knowledge, like they've done the deal. They're not just trying to weasel you into some sort of a sales funnel, right? Find those people. Okay, and that's learned knowledge. You need as much of that as you possibly can. An hour a day minimum is kind of what I focus on. But you just have to trust that activity knowledge is going to be 10 times more impactful, right? Do the thing, have the power, as Schopenhauer would say. So, it's like, you think back to high school and, maybe you studied and remember the Pythagorean theorem. I do not, right? But I sure as heck remember my first kiss. And because I experienced that thing, right? Experience is just such a valuable teacher. So don't be afraid of failure. Like, embrace failure. Every time you fail, that makes you stronger. And eventually, once you stack up hundreds or thousands of points of failure, you will feel not invincible, but man, you're just going to be, that wisdom is really going to guide you to success.
Well, Josh Elledge, I appreciate all of the advice, and we're going to squeeze in one more quick break and then wrap up our conversation with Josh Elledge. Again, you are listening to the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship, and we will be right back. Chicago, don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Get Down to Business. And as always, check out my website, shalomklein.com, where you can download podcasts from the past 7+ years of shows. And I'm back with Josh Elledge. So, Josh, you have become an expert in helping consultants that are at the 6-figure level get to 7 figures. You know a thing or two about that. Josh, can you share your technique?
Yeah, because this is something that we were just experiencing ourselves. So as a media consultant, and I was tasked with turning our clients into media celebrities, one thing, like a lot of consultants, my best clients were coming through word of mouth. And but that wasn't really scalable. Like, I'd meet people at events, get word of mouth from customers, certainly try to, expand on that, but it just really wasn't enough. And I'd see other people like, oh no, you got to be doing Facebook ads. No, you got to do webinars. No, you got to do white papers. You got to do this. And none of that stuff was working. Right. It was attracting me to people, but not really qualified people that really had the ability and desire to pay for what I had to offer. And so what I found is that, lead gen is the easiest thing on the planet if you are reaching out with the right offer. It's not hard to come up with a list. And where people screw it up is because marketers, who ruin everything, by the way, go out and go right for the jugular. It sometimes it feels scammy. It feels like a waste of time. I mean, just think about the stuff I try to sell to you and the things that you've experienced. What's the inner dialogue when you see that sales funnel stuff going on at you. You generally don't like it. It's like someone coming up to you at a networking event and they just go into robo sales mode, right? And so even with but you're supposed to jab, 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 right hook. Yeah, we still know what you're doing. And so what you absolutely have to have noble intent when you reach out. Right? You should really, truly find out. This is, 2,000 media appearances. It's the exact same philosophy. How did I get all that media? Because when I reach out, I know what they truly want, and that's what I provide them. So, for example, you got to look at the assets that you have. What's something that you can do that you can give away for free, and it's valuable. Right? It's super valuable, not necessarily to you and how much it costs you, but it would be perceived to be exceptionally valuable to your ideal target guest, and then go ahead and give that thing away. And you have to do it in a very authentic, transparent way of communication. Stop trying to mail merge. Stop trying to do this one-to-many, just saving time. You got to spend more time. If you're selling bigger ticket items, you have to spend more time with fewer people, and you have to let them know that you care about them. Now, if you will do these things, I promise you that sales is going to be the easiest thing on the planet for you if you always put other people's needs first. Stop listening to the marketing gurus and start listening to your heart, and ask yourself, what is it that you appreciate, and do that thing. Make it really easy for people to spend time with you. You want proximity together. Right? Because when you have that familiarity, then people's guard goes down, and then you could say, well, tell me more about what you do. Yeah. Tell me more about what you do. Right? And then two people, like you've had these meetings, right? Or these conversations where two successful business people talk, and then they figure out a great way that they can serve one another. Just spend all your waking hours doing that, and you will never have to worry about sales again. Great
advice.
We get 15 to 20 people every single week, zero outbound. Everything is 100% inbound, just because of the generosity.
Josh, real quick, where can people reach you if they want to learn more about all that you do?
UpMyInfluence.com, www.upmyinfluence.com. We're looking for podcast guests. In fact, we have a daily show. So if you're doing 6 figures or more, come over to our website. Apply. We'd love to feature you. We have over 100,000 in our audience.
And you have been listening to Get Down to Business. We'll be back next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer. So to success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next week.